Okay. Why'd you have to bring that up?
Everybody daydreams. Do you also pace for hours to music that you carefully chose while the story creeps into every corner of your brain and then hyperfixate on your fantasies and it takes you longer to complete household tasks? And do your characters' emotions ebb and flow, and do your emotions ebb and flow with your characters' emotions? And does it tease you with images of a world that's more grandiose and exciting than you'll ever experience due to the laws of physics in your own world? Me neither.
Currently wondering how people that don't maladaptive daydream get through everyday life and not be bored. The way that I daydream is the only way that mundane tasks are interesting. For example, just trying on a new lipstick, not sure how I feel about it. I caught myself while I was putting it on, not thinking I'm putting on lipstick. And now I'm thinking I'm putting on poisoned lipstick so that I can go give the prince that murdered my family a deadly kiss. And we'll inevitably fall in love because, oop, he's hot. Or like I just walked down the stairs to get a glass of water. But no, not in my brain. In my brain, I descended the staircase after being presented to a group of noblemen as the land's only chance for salvation. Like I was just feeding my cat. Was I feeding my cat or my dragon? My name is Daenerys, so you can have fun with that one. Like when I'm taking out the garbage. I'm still taking out garbage, but in my head I'm wearing a beautiful ball gown. How do you do those things without that? Like how? My real life is super boring, but at least up here, I'm having a great time. You're allowed to feel sorry for me, it's okay.
Baby, I'm not even here. I'm a hallucination.
Hey doc, I have a problem. Okay, what's your problem? I daydream too much. Daydream? Yeah, like I pretty much live in my own world. Okay, everybody daydreams, that's not a problem. No, you don't understand, it's taking over my life. What do you mean by that? I daydream for hours on end. Okay, again, don't worry, a lot of people daydream. No, but like, I can't focus on anything. I can't focus on work, my school, my friends. I don't even have real friends. Okay, so you don't talk to anyone? No, I talk to my friends in my daydreams. Okay, so you have imaginary friends. They're very real to me.
This ended up on your algorithm. I'm guessing you're neurodivergent or in some way completely mentally fucked. Welcome to the party. Can we discuss how much neurodivergent TikTok has pretty much allowed all of us to understand shit about ourselves that we used to think was just like a personal, tick or personal thing that we did ourselves, and then we realized everybody else fucking does it too? Like, I didn't know that there was an audio version of stimming, and that explains a lot about me. Maladaptive daydreaming, sensory issues, sleeping problems, the addiction to sugar in place of being properly medicated, addiction problems, comfort foods, clothing issues. There's so many.
So you daydream intensively? Yeah, what about it? Well, what's it like? I mean, you're saying it's different from regular daydreaming, right? Well, imagine you're putting on a VR headset, and the second you put it on, you're completely immersed in a different world. And this world is so detailed. They're not just blobs of random buildings and people. You genuinely believe you're in a completely different world. And as you spend more and more time in this world, relationships are built and memories are made. And just like in real life, things also begin to fade. But this is also a dream world of our own making. The longer you spend in it, the harder it is to leave. Especially when you know in the real world, things just aren't as easy or as wonderful and you don't have as many friends. You kind of just want to stay forever. Did you just describe the dream world of Inception to me?
Let's talk about maladaptive daydreaming and the non-cute, non-covetable parts of it. Isolating yourself from a young age so that you can cope with trauma you might not even realize you have. Missing out on opportunities to hang out with real-life people because you're too busy daydreaming. The shame and embarrassment of doing something that other people often do not understand, especially parents once you're doing these behaviors outside of childhood. Hiding away a huge part of yourself and even possibly a huge part of your interests because you can't dare to talk to people about those things because if they relate to the worlds that you've built in your head and they have negative opinions, it feels like a negative opinion of yourself and you can't handle that. Disassociating to the point where you might lose hours in your day, you might not gather information in your classes, and you might be performing poorly at work because you can't pull yourself from these daydreams. Disassociating when you're walking to the point where you might get hit by a car or somebody on a bicycle because you're not paying attention because you're stuck in a daydream.
Hey, what are you doing? Nothing. I just saw you talking to yourself. People do that. For over 10 minutes? You were watching for that long? How long were you doing it for? Sometimes like 40 minutes or for like a couple hours. Do you do this every day? Yeah, I do. It's called maladaptive daydreaming. Pretty much I create complex scenarios in my head and just kind of act them out. I think you've lost it.
I'm putting in the work. I'm putting in the work.
How old were you when you found out that the little movies that we play in our heads to cope with life are actually called maladaptive daydreaming and are in fact symptom of mental illness?
Tell me that you grew up living in a fantasy world that you designed in your head without actually telling me that. I'll start. I consider this to be my normal wear. This is normal dress, but when I have to go do chores or leave the house or whenever someone's coming over, I have to put on my business clothes, so jeans and a t-shirt or button down, no hat. I consider that business clothes. I consider this to be the normal because that's how I dressed in my head as a child.
For the people that do not maladaptive daydream at all hours during the day, what the fuck do y'all think about, for real? I'm over here in my own head for the past 7 hours making up an entire anime series about how death becomes a real life person and then tricks a human into stealing souls for him and then eventually using Earth as the final battleground between life and death itself. What the fuck are y'all thinking about, like sports? No, Rebecca, I do not want to hang out with you this weekend. I'm too busy making self-inserts of cooler versions of myself, being a badass vigilante and jumping off of rooftops. What the fuck are you gonna go do, paint your nails?
I have always found it very funny how the most efficient people at romanticizing their life are people who are mentally ill, because here's the thing, am I depressed? Yes. Do I hate my life? But do I act like I do? Not really. Every single day in the morning I wake up, put on my headphones, listening to the playlist I curated, and walk out of my room acting like I'm in the middle of my coming of age movie, acting like I am the main character of the world or here. Because here's the thing, I progress from maladaptively dreaming. I maladaptively function now. Like, I looked at the phrase fake it till you make it and said
I swear, you are like the only one I have left. I am this close to falling off the deep end. I know I'm smiling right now, but the light inside me is dying.
What?
But here I am.
So this is for all of my maladaptive daydreamers. Do you ever like look up the symptoms of maladaptive daydream or look up more things about it and then stop and start explaining to no one? Like you're on a talk show. Like you're like, yeah, like it's crazy. I've been doing this since I was da-da-da-da and I just thought it was normal. And then you have to stop talking to yourself and then go back to doing what you were doing. Like...
Wow, that is delicious. Finally, some good fucking food.
Hey, you're a maladaptive daydreamer, right? Yeah, me too. Oh my god, so you also spend hours on end creating intricate alternate realities in your head with plot lines and characters that have been with you for years that give you the comfort and stable relationships that you've always wished for? I'm totally kidding. Hey, so why are all your mirrors covered? Because they trigger my daydreams. Trigger? Yeah, most maladaptive daydreamers have triggers to help start their daydreams. What are some other triggers? Well, the most common ones are music, pacing, any kind of repetitive movement really, movies, TV shows, boredom, or just being alone actually. But for you, it's mirrors. Yeah. So do they have to be covered forever? No, I just need to practice catching myself daydreaming. That way I can catch myself before I start. Whoa, has it been hard? A little. It was a little sad in the beginning because I felt like I had to say bye to some of my characters and my safe place really, but I know it's better for me in the long run.